Call the meeting to order. Tracy, you want to start introductions?
Oh, sure. Council President Tracy Hensley, I liaison to this commission.
Deanna Baltar, I'm vice chairperson.
Jackie Jones, commission member.
Clint Coleman, a traffic safety member.
Spencer Pollock, City Attorney Public Works.
Kim Schmidt, traffic safety chair.
Gary Bryant, Transportation Safety Member. Will Bryant, Traffic Safety Board.
I'm Jean Bristol, just a citizen here.
Jenny Driscoll, committee member.
And Brianna.
Brianna.
Hi, Brianna Adada, Associate Planner Liaison to the committee.
Well,
Did everybody get a chance to look over the minutes?
I couldn't find anyone.
He
oh,
sent them out pretty early. He was really jotting on it.
Okay.
So,
I have to remember.
2 days after the meeting.
I approve the minutes that Clint did.
anybody want to second the minutes?
I'll second.
All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Well, welcome. Did you have a specific?
I do, yes. So my name is Jeannie Bristol and I've lived in Canby for like 30 years. And as we all know, it's grown huge. And I've talked to the police department numerous times. And they suggested that I come here to bring up some concerns about traffic, markings and the speed that's in Canby right now. That's incredible. So if you go, I'm going to talk specifically 3 areas today. So if you go off, if you're going towards Ivy and you turn on 3rd, you know where 3rd is, the church is there, the fairgrounds are over there, Thriftway's over there.
Southwest.
Yes,
Okay,
sorry.
no,
Yes, Southwest. So yeah, you find Thriftway over here, and then 3rd Street going this way. It's a pass-through way. It's 99. Yeah, pass-through way through 99. So if you go by the church, if you go Ivy and then you take a right on 3rd. This is a huge way right there. The fairgrounds is over there, 4th Street's, yeah, stop right there. See, there's no signs of speed limit all the way till you almost get out past that corner right there. There's one right there where it says Pine.
Yeah.
There's a first telling you how fast you can go. There's no speed limit sign. And it is a fair way. People are going there to work to hit 99. People fly through that road. We have some rentals there and we have lots of people that have rentals, and on 4th Street, like going that way, you know, dogs have been hit, there's signs. We have people that fly both ways. So we're wondering if there's any way that we could get a speed sign up there just so people know the speed limit. And because I know that the police are very busy, they're doing the best they can, but they can't always patrol that area. And I'm there all the time, and I'm telling you, people, there's kids there, there's the Emerald Gardens, you know, the townhomes that were built there, there's kids that are out, and people are flying. They're not slowing down to get out to work or whatever. So I'm wondering if there's any way to put, I mean, I know it's expensive to put a sign that flashes, but if there's some way that we can get some more attention over there on those 2 streets to have people slow down.
are there existing crosswalks? And if there are, do you know where they are?
There are not.
The
Nope.
only crosswalks,
No.
by the fairgrounds.
Yeah,
and then up again,
yeah,
at Locust
yeah.
and where they come
Yeah, right
together.
there.
And Locust is working
Yeah.
down to
Yeah.
I already flashed
Yeah.
that. I'm not beating up the old horse here, but the flashback to Shelbyville. Now, the warning sign, the little crosswalk, the stop sign, believe me,
Yeah,
I look at it, I think, oh, I know it's there, but yet, it gets my attention. I've thrown this out, I said, raise the speed limit, nobody's gonna obey the 25 mile an hour, of course, I had shut down, sorry. So,
yeah, I don't
No,
wanna, I mean,
no,
and that little right there with the locusts, where they're turning the one way, they fly through that. It's amazing how right there, that street right there, that's the basic where I'm talking about too. So that we own that rental right there, and we own the other rental over there, and they just fly. It's like, really, you gotta fly from one part to the other.
Is there a certain time of the day or?
Yeah, I'm there all days, but I start at 5 in the morning because I go feed and do stuff over there. I mean, they're going to work 5 in the morning, and then in the afternoon, not too bad when people are at work, but then when they're coming home from work, it is like, it's amazing.
Have you brought it up to the police?
I have
Oh,
numerous
that's
times.
Is there
I've
some-
asked for one of those, those
Speed trailer.
speed readers and haven't got one. I've asked 8 months, I've asked for stuff there, and I finally got, somebody got hold of me, just a police officer, please, I forget his name, from Woodburn, and said that just come here and try to bring this concern up. So that's what I'm doing.
And there's some trailers dropped there sometimes, commercial trailers. I've been by it many times.
It could be,
As long
yeah.
as that complex there has,
Uh-huh.
people I know that have a car rental space there. Every now and then there's a trailer, meaning a 53-foot van trailer is usually backed into one of those lots. Is that, you're not part of that?
I don't believe so.
Bring your arrow, Spencer.
Where would
Which
you
Go-
say?
Look to the right. Keep
Right
going,
to the
keep
left
going, keep going. You're right
Oh,
there.
yeah,
Every now
no,
and then,
that belongs to, some Russian developers that will be building on that, yeah. Yeah, we don't know yet, no. But so that's just my concern, if there's any way we can get something, because the health and safety, because if you see those townhomes, there's lots of little kids across the road, there's lots of little kids over here, I mean, there's kids, these are all rentals through here. It's just, for the health and safety of people, they need to just slow down.
Now, I hate to interrupt, but it sounds like you had not just this site you wanted to bring our attention to, but.
Well, just both sides of that road.
Okay.
Yep, and then we're gonna talk about just right out here at the four-way on Redwood. But first, let's just finish this. So that's what I was trying to see if there's any way we could put something there. Hey, if you put somebody there, if we needed money and they could issue a ton of tickets and then we could put the money towards traffic. Because I'm not kidding you, I'm there all the time and it's amazing. And I kind of shine my bright light or yell at them to slow down, but it doesn't make a difference.
If I could ask.
We haven't done a speed trailer study there yet.
We have not used the public works.
So just so you know, today we'll take your
Sure,
information
Yeah.
and then we can't really solve anything, but we'll
No, right.
discuss it and
Yeah.
see what options there are
sure.
for that.
That's what I'm here for, is just to see if there's any options besides me trying to, buy more signs and put them out there. It's just if we can enforce something. I mean, I think if people start getting tickets or they were aware that somebody's actually watching them, maybe they'll slow down a bit, possibly.
Can you touch on your concerns on the four-way at North Redwood and Terracotta?
Yes, here. So my mom lives right up the road. I'm here all the time. They're here too. And like, I'll give you an example. This morning, people aren't stopping on that. I saw a truck. We were waiting to walk across the road because we walked down, of course, this logging road. People just barely stopped. This morning I saw a truck didn't stop. We were standing at the sidewalk. A car didn't stop and then past the truck. This stoplight isn't catching people, especially in the early mornings when it's dark. I don't know why we didn't put like the bright light stop sign where it, goes off and on. Because my mom lives on Redwood and we're there all the time too. And the only time that I see people stop actually there is during the day and when they know that there's a police officer not sitting there to watch them stop. So that really hasn't, it causes a backup in the traffic, but it doesn't really, people just kind of now look at it and go, as long as they kind of know nobody's there, they're just gonna keep going. So that's also a big, huge concern to me, because my mom stands there and waits for them. She's old, she's 84, and she stands there and waits for them, we both do, for them to keep going while we're standing on the sidewalk. So again, people really aren't following the rules in Canby when it comes to stops, crosswalks, or slowing down.
I think it's not just Canby, it just seems
Yeah.
like everywhere you go, people
Yeah.
just, it's a suggestion,
Yeah.
not a.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'm just focusing on Canby.
Yeah,
That's
it's,
where I live.
it's just very, it's very disheartening that people.
Yeah, any.
Any other areas you want?
No, that's it. That's just the areas that I was just worried about today. I mean, that I was bringing to you today. And like I said, I've already been to the police department numerous times and they said for me to try here, so.
You're welcome to stay. You're free to go as well.
Yeah, that's all my main concerns, and I'm hoping that we can come to some conclusion or situation, because we've had animals killed over on the 3rd and 4th, and I'm gonna be really upset if a kid gets hit, because they're out there playing, and we have more young kids in that neighborhood. And people just aren't watching, they're not careful, and the next thing's gonna happen is somebody's gonna get hit. So, that's it. Thank you, I appreciate your time today.
Come back next month if you're able.
Okay.
Same time.
Okay, yeah,
We'll undoubtedly be talking about it, right?
Yeah.
okay, I appreciate the time again today, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you.
Just gonna kick it down the road, take some action on this.
Well, not today,
Huh?
not today.
Well, I guess all I've heard for 2 or 3 years now. Oh, we got speeders, okay, what are we gonna do? Nothing, come back next month, oh, what are we gonna do? Oh, nothing. Can't put signs on the pole because it's power company, that's bullshit. You can put a sign up there and they can use their man lift to go up that pole, I'm not gonna climb the pole. I'm all for putting signs on every pole down Holly, Ivy, and say, okay, you get a speeding ticket now, something's in the rigor.
Well, I have a question for Councilor Hensley. Because there's gonna be some development, going on there, is it unreasonable to, because you get these developers up with system development charges, can, digital speed signs be incorporated into those funds that are raised to, because they're gonna be plunking in more residents and
More traffic.
increase more traffic, and it
Well,
would seem like that would be a real opportunity.
I agree, but honestly, I don't wanna step on any toes, and there's somebody online that's probably way more knowledgeable in that arena. Brianna, can we, have the developer have a fee for, including digital signs and things in their development, or how does all that work? Let's listen from you.
In their development, or where are we
As part
talking
of the
about?
SDC charges, can we say SDC charges, like include in some areas putting in digital, speed signs?
For the area that'll be affected by their development, specifically Northeast Third, wondering if that would be an eligible add-on.
And my second question in that area is there, if there is a development plan in your office right now, does it include a traffic study?
So the traffic study would determine what sort of, those are called off-site improvements because they're in the public right of way. Traffic study determines if those are required, and there's a pretty high threshold number of trips for those to be required because of the cost. Now, if you're talking about transportation SDCs, those go into a fund, and there's pretty specific parameters as to what that fund can be used for. I don't know if it includes flashers. I'm not sure who makes those decisions besides city council. Yeah, so Tracy, I would put that one back to you. If you guys want to change what the scope of a transportation SDC can cover, that would have to be done by someone higher up than me.
Well, to that, then I would say we would entertain a recommendation from the commission to talk about at the council level.
Okay, that sounds great. And then I think one of the productive things we could all do is go out and look at the area and see where it might warrant crosswalks and where it might warrant speed signs, because he said that there was no presence of speed signs. And then two, when we talked with Officer Davis, I can fire him off an email that makes him aware of the concerns and see if they can increase patrols in there. It sure seems to. Would you say, Gary, that it's changed the behavior on Holly when they've elevated their presence?
Well, yeah, it scares them for a while, but you can't go down Holly without somebody coming up on you. If you're going 25,
Yeah.
you still got people that just don't recognize you.
And they've got way more crosswalks. I mean, they've got one at Juniper and they've got one at Locust.
We don't think they're short on those.
And then they've got another one on Ivy. So the only street that doesn't have it is not. So they've got crosswalks. That doesn't mean people are respecting the crosswalks existence, but they are there.
Sorry, I didn't see what you did.
So I think one of the things for us to look at is just how many signs are there.
especially from Ivy onward, because when you have people from out of town, they're going to be coming between Pine and Ivy on 3rd and 4th. And just like, does it seem like there's decent notice of the speed signs and it's just being disregarded? Or do we actually maybe at the very least need a couple more speed signs? Because that's much more attainable. Right, I mean, that's not a huge lift. I had a question for you, Clint. Can we put a note when we do the notes? I know you're stuck with it at least for this.
That's all right.
Could we just have like an action item section where we remind ourselves, like, we're going to look at X, Y, or Z or do whatever in advance of the next meeting?
Sure.
I usually take notes and then sometimes I remember and sometimes I'll forget it. That way we can help move things
You know,
along,
like-
folks too.
One idea on that front would be the action item for us as individuals, because we're all busy, go on Northeast Third and Locust. And then would it be okay, Spencer, if we emailed you our input on where we might suggest there be, or would it be more productive to have a field trip?
I would recommend to first start off with, like we've done for a lot of places when somebody comes with concerns of speeders, is to utilize the radar to see if that, see what the volume is.
To hang your device. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. see
Yeah,
where-
we haven't done that for a little while, so I would think that by maybe picking a couple of areas through here, and get an actual count and some data to kind of help support.
Can I make that motion?
Yes, please.
Can I make a motion that we put the radar up to determine the actual speed, time of day, et cetera?
Mhm.
Could we use the trailer in conjunction with the,
The trailer is scheduled through the police, so I don't know what their schedule is for that.
Plus it changes behavior,
Yeah,
so
I'm
we might get
thinking-
lower numbers.
my thinking on this is that if we're gonna measure it, let's measure the violations rather than the absent-mindedness. If you've got a trailer out there and it's flashing 25, and shortly after that, you have the meters. You know, they're just obviously intent on speeding.
Yeah,
And I'd like to know how many of them are doing that versus people coming in off of Knightsbridge and taking a shortcut to 99 North. Because I see that happening from time to time. They come in off Knightsbridge, come up Grant, swing over there to avoid all the stop signs and traffic and so forth on that stretch of 99 that they're avoiding.
mhm.
And then if I
And the other thing I noticed this morning when I was coming, and she talked about territorial. I was confronted with a waste disposal truck. Keeping an eye on it, but the sun was in my eyes at the logging trip.
Mhm.
I didn't see a pedestrian standing there about to touch the button until the very last moment. Because going this time of day across there, I don't know if they're seeing the sign out here.
That is
sounded
something,
right in your eyes as it was here.
depending on what time of day, that is the joys of Canby, is that if you are going east or west at the right time of day, you cannot see anything. Yeah,
I'm joking with
And then, while Jackie has the motion on the floor, I'd like to second that, and then I'd like to ask if in that area, in that triangle, if you think it should be hung on one thoroughfare for a certain time and then on another thoroughfare, or what do y'all think, just,
is there a certain area that the group wants to, because she had mentioned the whole stretch of Third.
I think we should look from Ivy down to Pine, that whole long gated triangle, with a focus of Locust.
it kind of looks like right there at Northeast Third at about Locust, I would bet they'd be up to optimum speed on these roads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cause the last stop sign, I believe, is on Ivy. There's a there is it looks like a 4-way crosswalk at Juniper and Third,
There is,
but there's no stop signs, or are there stop signs?
there is not a stop sign there.
Yeah, so I mean, that means that they've got a couple. And the other thing is, I think part of the reason, like, behavior that I've observed with people is when you get to Locust, Then it is a dedicated, it is one lane only. So people are like, cool, let's go. And then they just kind of like speed up a little bit extra right there because they're just trying to get through what seemed like an unpopulated area to get up to the intersection. So I'm not shocked to hear that people on average speed more there. And that development next to, like, we kind of see the big grassy area, and then right there, that is really dense. Those 4 big buildings there, that is really, really dense. They got crammed people in there, and
I would say
it's
your
disappointing
discretion
there
would be-
isn't required green space.
So let's see, Jackie made a motion, and I seconded it
All in favor?
to have,
Aye.
Opposed?
thank you.
If I could bring up something. Yesterday, in my duties with Bisbee Truck Leasing, I was chauffeured to Columbia's, distributors. And the guy that chauffeured me is a resident of Camden. He's got a CDL, and he should know better. So, okay, I'm riding with him in the pickup truck. He crosses Knight's Bridge, he points out Cedar. He says, yep, no truck goes there, but that's where I advertise. To go down to, Wilson Control or,
Oh, for goodness sake.
yeah, I said, thanks a lot. There is a sign of no traffic. I know. Well, he's brain dead anyway, so it turns out, it didn't surprise me, but still, that's the thing that goes on here, that GPS again will direct these people down there. So, I don't know, there's all our little nooks and crannies we have issues with. That's the one with, when, was it E-word, last name Dick E-word, Dan E-word. I love that guy. He confronts it right now. So anyhow, that's one of the things we're still fighting against on commercial traffic. I see they do have the weight limit signs down, there are new ones up the county.
You bring up a point. I know, and you know, that a lot of trucking companies and people like Columbia have safety programs.
Mm-hmm.
A little education to the drivers about following truck routes. In some of these instances where we know there's reasonably good sized fleets, maybe have some impact on 1 or 2 individuals. I can't even hold my breath.
Well, Columbia distributors, they have signs right there at their gate, their trucks, it will say Columbia drivers, turn right, go down first, and then they're rerouting down by the OLCC thing. But for the most part, the outside trucks coming into town, they have a written note which way to go, they have GPS, and I feel sorry for them, yeah, it's too bad. And educate them all.
Now, here's a question for you, Gary, because you're very familiar with this. Would you say the majority of businesses in the industrial park that are operating trucks are abiding by the rules?
For their drivers, they have control. Yeah, they'll have signs in the driver's room, routes in and out of town. It's typical. They're just, I don't know, Americans deal must be really well, because you never see them guys coming through the neighborhoods. They've been here long enough, so they obviously have their drivers. on the route.
So it's the outside, the guys that are not.
Yeah, the outside,
They're
they're
the problem.
That's where they're lost.
Okay.
Yeah, well, since we're talking about the trucks, I did go down on Cedar and Second and looked. And there's just one sign.
Teeny tiny sign.
It's a teeny tiny little sign.
Don't you love that?
And that's it, right as you're starting down the,
As you turn off the Knight's Bridge.
no, this is on Cedar and Second, down by the post office.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so going down into that neighborhood we were
Oh,
talking about,
yeah.
that's the only sign, just right as they're going in.
Yeah, and like it's across the intersection.
Yes.
So if you're stopped at the intersection, then it's just beyond it and the tiny little sign up, in the corner. I took a picture too from before the stop sign to make it even more obvious how it's not very easy to see.
Yeah.
What I'm curious, is there, that's, if anybody cares, well, that's what you actually see if you're stopped at the intersection. What I was curious about, with the no truck areas, is there like a standard fine for using a non-truck route with your truck? Is it like a $500 fine or something that's really standardized, or perhaps adding another little sign that says fine $500 or fine $800 or something underneath the truck sign would potentially act as a additional deterrent?
I don't know what the fine is for a truck
I feel like it's a
with,
discussion,
the fees for that, I don't know.
Random fiberglass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay, it's just a thought, you know, like, 'cause if, maybe that's just a little bit extra, like, hey, no trucks, and we'll fine you.
Well, it's like the talking on your cell phone, it's a $400 fine, I believe it is, get caught on your cell phone. I mean, yeah, but everybody, you should know that.
You should, yeah. Real quick, circling back to the intersection just out here, that when the lights isn't right, you can't see anything. I feel like that and then the one on 13th at Elm are like two really good candidates for important pathways that you cannot see at all during, sunrise, sunset. Would they potentially be candidates for the stop on the road? I know we're not a big fan of writing stop on the road too many times because it gets worn off, but since you can't see and going through those stop signs causes big issues.
So painted stuff.
Painted,
painted stop on the road.
yeah, just at those two intersections, the ones that come to mind to me that are the
Oh,
worst
yeah.
offenders, where you can't see the
It's
stop
like,
signs on
oh.
the side of the road.
It's always fun.
I know that, when we first put the stop out here, I believe we did paint the road,
I think
stop.
it would, yeah.
To be honest, I don't even know if it's all still there, if it's all worn off.
I don't think it's.
Making those, look at those.
Or can we get flashing lights on the stop signs?
Flashing red.
Yeah.
In those areas where it's hard to see at certain times, those would be important, that it might catch your eye
And if
versus.
they flash red versus other colors, then you
Yeah.
can still be able to kind of see it through the glare of the sun, which is more real.
Cause I know Elm and 13th, cause I've driven it regularly and people don't stop.
Regularly, people just
Yeah.
blow through, and we live over there, so we know enough to stop and wait and make sure people aren't gonna blow through it, so we don't get hit. But anybody who's going through who's not as familiar, 13th is a pretty major thoroughfare.
Yes.
As well as, yeah,
Spencer, is there such a thing as a portable clamp-on type flashing lights battery out there? One of the things I've noticed in some of the neighborhoods around town is that signs are more noticeable if they have those rather inexpensive plates on top of them that are various colors.
the little
I just-
rectangular reflectors.
I particularly see it over in the south end and off of Pine and places back in there, where you're going along and maybe it's a standard sign for a speed limit. And then it has a little narrow plate on top of it that's a different color. And it's just enough to catch the eye.
I'll have to, if you, think
I'll take a
of
picture and send it to
where
you.
one of them are, I'd be
I've
interested.
seen them all over town and in different colors. And
Does it say strictly enforced?
doesn't say, it's just
We did, that was probably a decade ago that, along the territorial, it's got a sign underneath the speed signs that say strictly enforced. And,
yeah, people don't read.
yeah, when you're driving,
If there's something unusual that catches your attention, it may affect some people. I can always,
Driving behavior has just gotten really bad.
Yeah.
It's just,
It's worse than Portland.
So the truck sign over on Cedar, we started to talk about,
Yeah.
it's a tiny sign
Yeah.
in the distance. Can we do anything to make that more prominent? Like, what do we wanna suggest here? Oh, committee members, does anybody have any thoughts?
I have a question on that.
Yeah.
You say no trucks to go down in there.
correct,
So many Amazon deliveries, FedEx and all these others. What's the size of the truck that would be permissible and the size of the?
So the point of that sign is for no through trucks. If there was any kind of
But it doesn't say
delivery.
that.
No, but,
Yeah.
so there was a big push because, pictograms on signs are more universally understood than
Language.
long language. As you're reading or as you're driving, the longer the sign is, the more dangerous the sign is because it's taking your attention away from it. So there's a big push to eliminate words from signs and just go to straight, more of a pictogram. It's also something that is more translatable to other countries as well. So that sign means no trucks through. So if there are delivery trucks, technically, if there was somebody that lived down there and they ordered something huge and it came from a 53-foot truck and trailer, they would not be ticketed if they went down there to unload their cargo. It's meant for, this is not a truck route to get through. The truck route is up off of 3rd, and to come around, there's signs up and down Elm Street. There's signs at 3rd telling them to turn there to go to Cedar and then back around. There was a few trucks. Why that particular sign got placed was because there was a few delivery trucks that were trying to get to the industrial areas, whether it was Potter's or Johnson Controls or something like that. And they were following their GPS, and the GPS was saying, you know, here's the straightest route to get there. So that's what those signs were placed for.
So the person who came to us with concerns, they were seeing trucks kind of get stuck in there, and they were just.
And having to back out.
Mhm. I don't know if there's a whole lot we can do about it, right? I mean, the sign is there. If you're going to do a specific delivery, you've got some appliances or furniture to deliver, well, you're just gonna have to go in there and back out. Because that's the way we're designing new developments.
Kind of feels that way lately, huh?
It's another thing we can't fix.
You see us embracing more of the pictograms here.
I do.
They're very effective in Europe.
Mhm.
Very good. You got so many different languages and cultures and countries. And, you know, there are a few deviations, but Netherlands has now gone to not even having any speed signs. Strictly your, thing on your automobile, you're supposed to know what the speed limit is, but okay, heads up control.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, some of the,
That's outrageous.
some of the new, technology actually has it, it's, I don't know if you do car, you do too, it'll tell you the speed limit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can also have it set so that you know when you're exceeding and by how much.
Unfortunately, the problem is people don't care because they're gonna speed when they're just gonna speed. It just, it's really out of control, unfortunately. It's not good.
Now teenage girls got their license, that's the ones that are students.
Right. You see my
I
girls,
think teenagers maybe in general.
yes, you see my kids speeding, you call me.
When they leave the high school.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a speeder too, I lived out in the country, I drove like a maniac.
I won't
That's
be up like that.
Jenny. All right.
Every form, let's
So-
not talk about that.
All right, we done with the tour routes
I just have
now?
one question.
Okay.
It seemed like in one of our previous meetings, Gary was gonna talk with a retired
Oh, yeah, that's right,
truck. It takes a lot.
it's all right, guys, the note popped up in one of my old records there, Greg Del Ponte.
So we haven't had a chance to talk with him. Okay, I'm guilty. And then on the next one, that Gene Jameson, I think we've beaten Ellen to a pulp. I mean, she knows, she should know that summertime is ideally when they're gonna know.
Yep.
So, sorry, I didn't.
No.
I think the question with DOT was working with the state on speeding. Those, you know, on Highway 99 Eagle, right? Through here at 35 miles an hour, that's, you know. and so the state doesn't give tickets out. You know, the state troopers. I've never seen one. But that was something, I think it was also about the weight limits and on the bridge and stuff, that we were talking to Greg Delponi about, but we got the bridge reinforced now to accommodate the, you know, you got the arching there now. So, see, £1,000. It didn't solve all the problems.
Well, I know that you had talked about whether it was the traffic down there on Knightsbridge when you messaged me about when there was that accident and all the trucks were coming
Oh, yeah, what a nightmare.
and they were,
Oh, yeah, that was the bridge, the Boone Bridge,
yeah, and
when
there's
northbound
no,
I-5 was
That was
closed.
awful.
I came home that night, it was 11 o'clock, and, yeah, they, at the airport on 511.
Yeah.
They were rerouting traffic down Knightsbridge, everybody, all the commercial trucks were just right through town here, there was no traffic control in town. So they were just trying to find out, truck and trailer, tractors and semis, it was a mess. There's nothing to do with that, other than they should have routed, somebody, the county or the state should have had a detour at Knightsbridge and Barlow.
Yep.
And they're the ones that dropped the ball there. They had enough on their plate with fatality and stuff.
all right, should we talk about South End and 99? Have we gotten anywhere on that?
I've been needling the heck out of ODOT, and they're supposedly doing a review of that stretch. And, so, I mean, I don't think I can be any more persistent than I am. But I will hopefully have a report the next time.
And Tracy, you were talking to the other local representatives.
Yes, Commissioner Paul Savas is, I work with him on C4, which is Cottons County Coordinating Committee, 4Cs, right, C4. He has a contact with our Region 1 rep for ODOT. And in fact, today I'm emailing him a map of my recommended area where I think that speed should change. And so we'll take that to Randy. Cool, so, yeah, we're working from that angle.
Fantastic.
I don't
even never will take it.
I have somebody else with me today too, that's part of the reason why we're here, I've got a trainee, so she'll be.
Okay.
That's for sure.
So on Jerry and Maureen Geiger's concerns over there by Eccles, did that us?
We were able to coordinate with the school district on moving the buses back a
Okay.
length. And we were actually able with this great weather to actually go out and stripe and crosshatch that area. So
That's good.
it's, hopefully that's helped alleviate to move the buses back. People can see the sign a little earlier.
I'd be curious in a few months to hear how that's working out.
And then one other idea, I'll just add on top of that, where you're talking about painted stuff in the street, you know, like 13th or Redwood and Territorial. You know, if this problem persists, that might be an idea for that area to remind people that they.
Yeah. I went by this morning on the way over here, and thanks very much for the striping. I noticed also they have a bus area beyond the intersection also now. I don't know if that's always been there. I had never noticed it before. And there's enough room there, actually, if they wanted to park a couple of buses there between the school and the driveway into their parking area. So if it doesn't solve it with what's been done, another approach is to talk to the school board and ask them, you know, could you park all the buses beyond the stop sign on the other side of the intersection?
Yeah.
It appears also that some changes have been made on South Ivy. Because I don't see people lined up there in the afternoon anymore. They seem to be coming in from a different direction. So whoever talked to the board on that one.
Oh, so the stacking problem is not as much of a
Stacking
problem.
doesn't
That's
seem to
great.
exist anymore.
Wow, that's.
So,
Okay, and then Spencer, you're working on adding that
To next year.
next year's budget, okay? All right, new business, concerns for U-turns on 99E in Redwood. I saw several of them recently.
It's a new thing.
It's a new thing.
I don't know if it's new.
Well,
We're just paying attention to it now.
because I live over there, I think I notice stuff and they're just often.
And if, think of it, if we're seeing it that often, how many times does it actually happen when we're not there?
Right.
I will say, we organized a traffic mission yesterday, and so there was 3 or 4 officers that came in and worked some grant funded overtime. And I know that there was multiple citations issued for that there yesterday in particular, so, yeah.
It's just,
Maybe it'll curb the issue for a week, I don't know.
well, what would we have to do to get that U-turn sign on the light where?
That's reaching out to ODOT and
It's ODOT's.
it's ODOT's like 99, so
Okay,
it's
so
ODOT's discretion, so it would just be a
do one of
request.
us need to reach out?
I can see who,
What?
It can't be somebody from this committee, it has to be either staff or council.
Yeah.
Sorry.
yeah, I'll reach out, I don't know, I don't have a contact for who operates the lights or is in the engineering, I do have a contact for the maintenance department, so I'll see if they can point me in the right direction.
Perfect, that would
Who
be
to request that
fantastic.
for.
Could I interrupt for a second? Before you came, Officer Davis, there was a citizen, Ginny Bristol, and she shared, 2 specific concerns, but one also from Spencer could bring back up on board. Over near the fairgrounds was Northeast Third, and in that triangle, she's concerned about more development, speeding cars, there's been dogs that have been hit and killed. She's very concerned for pedestrians and children in the area, and she pointed out that there's really no seemingly presence of signage for speed, and then and that whole thoroughfare on Northeast Third is just kind of a raceway, she says. Just wondered, just want to make you aware of it.
I'm trying to remember, I think we did get a traffic complaint for that specific stretch of road.
Probably from her.
She's been trying to get the speed trailer for a while.
Yeah,
so-
there's a couple different places that have requested it. I think that the plan is to put it on 10th, once they finish the paving on there, just because I know there's already been a few people that have expressed some concern that once that's a nice fresh paved road, it'll be treated like a racetrack. And then this week, actually, we're gonna put it on Holly, so it'll be on North Holly for the rest of this week.
How it is the 10th Street, looking like it would happen.
I don't know. I don't know.
Right now, weather dependent, I believe that they were planning to come back in, we get out of the winter paving schedules, I believe March 15th, so it was after March 15th, weather dependent. So we're hoping for March 15th to sometime first of April.
Is there a chance we could put that over there where she's requesting in between what
Yeah.
you're doing on Holly and 10th Street?
Absolutely, we, it usually only holds a charge for a handful of days anyway, so I think we'll probably put it on Holly for a couple days, and then I'll have that be the next place that we take it over, and put it on Third.
And one of the things we voted on was to hang a device to kind of measure the speed in that area to see what is real problems occurring, what days of the week at times and so on. And hopefully that'll be helpful too.
Do we have an opinion on coordinating them together or separate? That
We don't, they should be
All of the
separate, that's how
availability.
they've always done it.
Yeah, for consistency's sake.
Okay, the nice thing about ours is we can hold charge for about 2 weeks, depending on how many cars there are, so it would be kind of interesting for, as Tom was saying, is
If we do it over
Do a
stretch
week.
both with and without.
1 week
Yeah.
with, 1 week without, to have kind of a close comparison, so.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Her other concern was running the stop sign on Fourth or on that territorial railroad.
Okay, yeah, I know, there's a couple officers that frequently watch that intersection, but I'll send in an email to and make sure that's a point too.
Well, Fourth is a lot narrower than Third,
Yes,
so I don't think the speeding going south on Fourth would have as much impact as it is on Third, 'cause Third is pretty much an open run there, and then you zoom on down to the Y.
Okay. And then talking about a designated turn light on Bird Parkway in 99, would that be county?
Bird Parkway itself are city streets, but redesigning that intersection to allow for a designated turn lane, I don't think that we have the space without going through and trying to acquire more.
We're not, I'm not thinking about adding another lane, but having because you have either you're going straight across or there is the turn lane.
It's clear.
Talking about it's just a light that actually showing a designated turn light, so that,
An arrow.
and yeah, to where you're either, the traffic is stopped going across if you're making a left.
That would be, since the through lane and the turn lanes both share, it's similar to what Pine Street is. So there's not a dedicated left turn lane. The left turn lane is the same as the straight.
No, it's not, it's
Isn't it?
separate, they're separate.
Yeah, they're separate.
I might.
So the left lane is turn
Left
left or
lane
go
is turn
straight,
right.
and the right lane is turn right.
No, the right lane is turn right or
Or
go
go
straight.
Or go straight up,
Okay.
and
And
left
the
is
left
turn
lane
right
is
on
turn
the
left. Yeah,
Coming out of Walgreens.
yep. I think so.
No,
Oh, it is, okay.
So if we can have a light that actually is designated to turn left,
That would be helpful.
that would alleviate a lot of.
That would.
One of like the
collisions
5 light
Mhm.
ones, instead of just 3, it's got 5, so it tells you green turn, yellow turn.
Officer Gaither took a crash there yesterday.
There's
Fine
been,
point.
there's been regular accidents there. Rush hour, when I leave to go to work or come home, it's not so bad, but like last night I was coming home and I was watching a pedestrian, cause I'm trying to turn onto Berg and I'm like, where's this pedestrian going? And trying to watch that person and then trying to make sure someone's not gonna hit me trying to turn.
Yeah, it's definitely a dicey intersection.
one other thing that this, I think the photo shows is that since the redoing of 99, there's an island there. If you look at that truck that's in the intersection, he's having to jog
Yeah.
to the left, almost head right at oncoming traffic
Yeah.
to get around that island that ODOT put in the middle of the street.
And
He
then
comes
from here.
across, he's coming across and his lane has to veer left.
It's a very strange angle when you're at
Yeah.
Walgreens.
Cause if you're from out of town, I've had out of town people like, you gotta watch that, because especially at night.
Yeah.
And because it leads down to 13th or 13th leads to there's a lot more traffic in that area.
2,200 people a day.
So who would be in charge of what?
This light is an ODOT light, and if there was anything to change here, it would more than likely have to come from the city. I know that in the TSP, there is talks of some sort of a way to get from 99 over to 3rd Avenue. Whether that's going under the tracks or over the tracks or what. But that, I don't know if that's a very, very long-term type project with funding, because that one is gonna be really, really expensive.
I just feel like, I'm sure it's expensive, but to put a light, there's already a light there. Does it take a lot to add a designated turn lane?
With ODOT, yes.
So the city would have to reach out to,
More than likely, ODOT would require us to upgrade the entire intersection to where it's not overhead cables, to where it's mast arms. So we would be redoing all of that. Plus having to do cameras instead of the old loop systems. Just throwing a ballpark price, more than likely, this would be a several $1 million project.
We'll put that in the next budget, please.
So why didn't they do it when they were up in 99? Just to cut corners and not have the costs?
Yeah.
It seemed like it should cost a couple $1 million to put up, host and run the wires. Just like,
Well, that's not the answer I wanted, Spencer.
I know, I'm sorry.
because ODOT usually doesn't care unless people are dying, just to be blunt. But we do have a lot of accident data that probably a sizable portion of the accidents are happening there on that stretch of 99.
I bet Officer Davis gave us that information.
Yeah.
Pine Street.
But I mean, if we saw it broken down, where are the 99 intersection accidents, there's probably, you think Ivy's first? That would be an interesting exercise.
That would be my.
I'd be very curious to know how it splits out over like the last 5 years. If that helps make an argument or if it really is just pretty evenly split up.
All right. Officer Davis, you're up.
Okay, so the month of January was pretty non-extraordinary statistically. 289 citations issued. There was 7 DUI arrests, 12 total traffic-related crimes. 7 DUIs is actually a little bit less than we normally experience for a month, so that was good. Then we only had 5 traffic complaints. We usually have anywhere from 10 to 15, I'd say, a month. So pretty on par. We had that traffic detail yesterday, which was good. Also introduce you guys to Officer Grace Gaither, she's our newest officer. She's in her 2nd phase of field training, so she just graduated from the academy a couple weeks ago, and she's gonna be out on the road now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome. Can I ask you a question?
Thank you.
On that incident that happened, it looked like a car was coming on Pine toward the fairgrounds. It didn't make the corner and just
Yes.
drove up on railroad tracks. Do you know the circumstances behind that?
Yeah, it sounds like something fell off of her seat while she was driving. Reached down to grab it, and by the time she looked up, she was through the fence and airborne. Through the fence, went airborne a little bit and perched herself just perfectly on the train tracks. We were able to get all the trains stopped and everything, so took a little bit to get the car off of there, but no injuries, no impairment, anything like that, just a little bit of distracted driving.
And a lot of embarrassment.
Wow.
And another fence for Spencer.
Yep.
What if the insurance covers it if you do something like that? They say it's on you.
I don't know, I'm sure that Union Pacific will probably look into everything they possibly
I
can.
was just gonna ask if, do you go after their insurance company to recoup the cost of the fence repair?
Typically, yes.
Good, okay.
And Union Pacific is very, anytime they have to stop train traffic, they make sure to tell us how much money it costs them every minute that there are trains moving. So, I mean, that's kind of the price of doing business when you have a railroad running through a city, but, it's usually try to do those a little bit quicker. Yeah.
Goodness crazy. Thank you. Spencer.
Too much new to report on. We've got the first reading for the Walnut Street extension contract going to council tonight. The boring portion of that project, council approved a noise variance, so unfortunately, people of the Willow Creek neighborhood will have about 72 hours of constant construction, because the railroad won't allow us to start and then stop the project. So once they start, they have to go all the way through. So fingers crossed that that goes faster than the 72 hours. But
Do you have any speculation of when that project will likely start?
Depending on council, and when we finally get our final approval from ODOT, We are shooting for, I believe, March, or when we start that project.
So did we overcome the potential hurdle of the 8.8 feet versus 10-foot requirement for the bike
Yes.
lanes? That-
Yes,
That was pretty quick.
yes.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep, the engineer was able to tweak a few things and then VDOT was then happy again, so. And we might have had a different reviewer that wasn't worried about the which I don't know.
So you think that, sorry, one
Once
more
you get
question.
signed
So
off
do you
on
think that thoroughfare, once it starts, will be a workable thoroughfare this year?
There's potential for it, that it would probably be finished by the end of the year.
And the light would be near the tail end?
The light is, we broke this project up into 3 separate phases. I don't, since we haven't did the light project yet, that would be the part that I'm hesitant to say on whether or not the road would be actually open. Because how long supplies could take to put the light.
Thanks a bunch.
Brianna?
All right, I have some dates for everybody. So long time coming. We have the TSP update coming to Planning Commission March 23rd. They will vote on a recommendation to send it to council, and council will hear it sometime in April, either the 22nd or 29th is projected. A comp plan update going to Planning Commission March 9th. Again, that's a recommendation to City Council, which we'll be hearing that April 15th, it looks like. And then SDCs. SDCs are being updated, including the methodology, how they're calculated. And the next work session is tonight to discuss SDCs, and the materials in terms of explaining that methodology will be published on the website March 6th. So if you guys have comments about SDCs, it might be a good time to make some recommendations. Other than that, so yeah, we're focusing on updating all of these plans. It's taking most of our staff time these days. Yesterday I held the pre-app to fix Wally's Chinese Kitchen. It's basically kind of just replacing what they had before, because their insurance is limiting what can be done there, but that'll be fixed soon, their canopy and signage. We have another pre-app for a smallish subdivision on North Holly, but again, that's just a pre-app. Application hasn't come in yet. No update on memory care yet. What other projects? What other projects are on our docket? I think those are the big ones. Yeah, but I can answer any questions.
Do you guys get updates on projects that are already approved, like the OLCC build?
No, not really.
Okay.
I could ask Ryan if he knows anything. Yeah.
I'm curious how it's coming along versus what we can project for Walnut.
So just curious on that incident that happened over at Kitty Hawk.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just curious that there's been conversation about the fact that there was the 2 tanks together in that, one's heated up and they're close together. And are they gonna be able, will they be allowed to fix that and go back to conducting business?
So the proximity of the tanks would actually be Clackamas County review. They do all of our building, mechanical review, things like that. I can't say if it was up to their standard or not at the time that the incident happened. They can come back and apply to, make those renovations. I'm not sure what the scope will be, if they just want to replace it as is, or if they want to incorporate some sort of update, but they would have to come through us and get permits for that, as well as Clackamas County permits. So we'll know what they want to do when they come to us. We haven't gotten any calls yet. I feel like they're probably still doing just some damage control, but yeah, we anticipate them coming in. We'll see what they propose.
Because the superheating happens because of the high pressure of the tanks, so it's not like it's being externally heated, it's just that it's compressed so much that that's what creates that gas, you know.
If you had to speculate, do you think that that building that they were occupying can be salvaged, or do you think it'll be scraped and put back up in a new one?
I think they'll try to avoid entirely scraping it. I have a feeling that they're gonna, obviously have to have like a third party come out, insurance inspectors and folks like that, to kind of determine what sort of the cost benefit analysis would be. But my inkling is that they would just try to address the local area that was affected and not their whole campus.
Well, I would say that our fire department did a fantastic job. Everybody involved that was involved in that did a great job of handling it.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Counselor Hensley.
I don't have a lot. I will let you all know that 5 o'clock next Wednesday, the 18th, we're going to do a little grand opening celebration, if you will, for the logging trail path that goes from the logging trail down to 99E. So we're gonna be hosting a little ribbon cutting, I guess, and celebration, a grand opening celebration for that. We do have council tonight as well as next week. That's all I really have, unless you have questions for me.
Do you have any idea, kind of over in that Kitty Hawk area, do you remember where JV Northwest used to be?
Mm-hmm.
Did any talk of what might go into that spot?
I haven't heard anything, is Brianna? Corner of 4th and what, Pine and Redwood?
Let me get eyes on it. Sometimes that helps me, but it doesn't sound
They
familiar.
used to be JV Northwest, and then they changed names, and then they went out of business. It's across from Casey.
No, I don't think we've heard anything.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Before we go on to board members, we did not do positions here.
I'm happy to continue in this role until someone tries to just pull it from my hands.
Unseat you.
Yeah.
Well, I know you were talking that you would like to give it up unless you
Well, I
changed
just
your
like
heart on that.
everybody to have an opportunity
Yes.
to do these
So-
various roles, and I've been doing this for a year, but I'm happy to continue to do it until someone is ready to replace me.
Is there anybody that would like to do the job of taking the minutes and?
You're doing an excellent job.
I've done question.
Okay, well,
Yeah, Jackie did do it for many years.
I'll keep doing it then unless someone else.
Don't switch horses when it's winning.
Okay, well, thank you.
Is there any other positions that, like, somebody want to do my position?
No, I think you're doing a fine job too.
Well, thank you. All right, well, just needed to bring that up. All right, so Deanna.
My concern is still at 13th, Southwest 13th. This morning, leaving to come here, to turn right, I didn't have a choice. People are going way too fast. It's a school zone, and I had a guy behind me, got impatient because I was driving too slow, even though I was in a school zone. So, 13th is getting more traffic because of the lovely addition to Canby and making it where over by the school, the Mormon church, all that stuff, it's just getting very congested. And one of these days I'm expecting an accident trying to get out of my loop. And I'm actually considering moving because I can't stand the congestion. It's just getting really bad, and the HOA, I don't know why our loop was part of our HOA because we're before the sign. So I'm like, my neighbors are like, hey, you wanna maybe try to get out of the HOA? And I'm like, yeah, that'd be nice, but I don't like how you can't even get out of the loop when you want to. One day my neighbor was trying to drive in and he thought I was mad because I couldn't get out. And I'm like, no, too much congestion, so just, wish that there was a better way to have congestion in that area be better, because there's a lot of people running the stop signs, running the lights, causing accidents and everything else.
You're unfortunately in a position where a lot of traffic at the intersection by the steakhouse is from 4 directions.
Yeah, yeah.
No, we seem to have, all the same thing, week after week, month after month, and, I think I've made my point on some of the, not so much the commercial traffic, but just the ignorance of people coming to our community, know the way around. Speeding, of course, hasn't changed.
Out of
In
control.
terms of hauling on the north side and Ivy and stuff like that, and. Okay, that's.
What?
I just, wanna say that how much I appreciate everyone, volunteering their time to help with this community. I think we really do make a difference working together. I know it gets frustrating at times and, but I think, we're really helping a lot of people and just appreciate all of you. So thank you. The fire, police, and public works and planning, council, and, everyone. It's a great group and we're doing a good job. And just don't lose sight of all the things we've accomplished. We've gotten a lot of stuff done. And so, stay positive. That's so much to be thankful for.
You guys are all awesome. I really appreciate it. It's nice to live in a city where, even though we can't necessarily affect all the change we'd like to see, that people are really dedicated to doing the most that they possibly can for the best of everybody.
For sure.
I'm proud to be a Kennedy resident for sure.
How Roddy did for the 4th of July?
You're doing such
Good job.
All right, thanks a lot.
I'll help though, be a judge if you want me to.
You can move that.
Hardly interrupt.
Thank you.
So, I wanted to bring up the train arms that get stuck on Grant. It seems to happen on a fairly regular basis. Like, I'll be at Cutsforth, ready to head home, and I'll see just Grant is down, be like, okay, now I need to loop around a different way to get across. I was late coming in today because I was stuck at Grant before 99, and the truck in front of me, even though we're sitting there for forever, he didn't realize that that's the only one that's down and everybody else is crossing. So when I finally got a chance to take the left turn lane, then I went down to Elm and came around. But the people who are already directly on either side of the arms, they're stuck because they can't back up unless they back up on the 99, or into other people who are waiting, and they just seem to get stuck a lot. Is that something we've had discussions with Union Pacific about, like, why does this particular intersection have its arms go down and stay down at random times for no apparent reason?
I've called Union Pacific about it a couple different times when it's gotten stuck, and they send it, they're really good about sending technicians out really quick, and it seems like they fix it for whatever reason. It lasts for a while and then the same issue starts. That intersection in Elm, it's happened to both of them a couple times, but it didn't sound like they were, from when I talked to them the last time, it sounded like both instances that he came out for were separate issues, not the same thing again. So, and they've also been doing a lot of track work down kind of behind the post office side over there. So I know a lot of times when they're manually controlling those, he's mentioned that they can kind of throw off some of their settings, but at least it's getting stuck down as opposed to not getting stuck up.
Between the two, down is better.
It is frustrating.
Well, that was really it. Just want to make sure it's on, kind of on the radar, and we're keeping an eye on it.
Any updates on your, irrigating corner lot?
Yes, I was gonna
Yes, okay, so they were making some movement, so, they had one of the really big, cargo, almost semi truck kind of things get moved out. They're clearing some things out. My neighbor Karen, who comes from time to time and has talked about different things, she saw them actually taking things out of the building that's rented there, and there's a for rent sign up. So hopefully somebody will
Good job.
get in there and they can use that space that's been holding out the junk. The junk is still there, it's just less of it. We're making progress. So, it could be nice off-street parking for some little business there. I'm
You
sorry.
made a tremendous amount of progress on that corner, I mean, even for you, probably.
Well, I definitely got some help. It's nice to have an audience who is willing to support clearing that out for better visibility, so, yeah.
Oh, hi, I just can second what Deanna was saying, because obviously, I live on Southwest 13 in Elm over there. And yeah, the congestion is just, I mean, what do they say, 2,200 people a day drive down the street. I'm pretty sure it's first thing in the morning is when they're all going through. And then, it was a couple weeks ago, I think it was, I was going south on 99, taking a left on Ivy. And then, that truck route situation. If this trucker was trying to go north on 99 from Ivy, and I had to back up, clear a direct link. There's nobody behind me, so hopefully not in trouble with that, but he was very thankful that I was able to give him enough clear so he could actually get onto the highway, otherwise he probably would have taken out the
Pole there.
the pole there. So I was the first in line, no one behind me, I'm like, dude, you're not.
No, I've stopped a couple recently for doing the same thing right there. And a lot of Columbia Distribution in particular, a lot of their drivers are different every time they come here, so it's usually their first time delivering here, not that's an excuse. But most of, like Clarios, they all know the routes they're supposed to take, but it seems like it's usually one-off most of the time, not consistently like the same trucking companies.
Yeah, that was just
but
crazy though.
That's one spot where it should be pretty obvious for them, because there's a couple signs posted right there.
Yeah, I was wondering about the sign placement though, cause it's really close to where you, to the highway, so are people confused thinking, oh, I just can't take them right here to that, is that Second Street?
Mhm.
And it's 99 that I'm supposed to take, I'm not a trucker, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of solutions, and what could be the issue, cause we've already changed the sign.
Does the sign say turn on Second?
No, I don't think so.
I don't remember if it says turn on Second or next right or, I don't.
Take a right for the truck route.
Yeah, because it definitely says like next
It
right.
doesn't tell you the right, it doesn't tell you which right.
I think it has
Yeah.
like a diagram of the
That's
intersection.
the intersection.
I was
I have a question to Gary. What truck can safely make that corner without, in other words, trucks over what length should turn on Second?
Ivy to Second,
Yeah.
it's
not really good for cars.
it's just 2 lanes there, now, you have a good signage, you come down Ivy towards 99, there is good signage there, it's well marked.
I just thought it should be like.
But I mean, what length of truck
Well,
should you?
the overall length is as much as 90 feet, I mean, there's a 53-foot trailer, takes a lot more room to turn than a 48-foot trailer or 27-foot trailer, but I think the thinking from the engineering department, well, good truck driver, he should be able to make it, well, they're not all good, you know, and you're clumping them all into one group there. One thing that Spencer and I agree on and disagree on is just, guys that come along and they, for instance, guys sit there in a detour sign, but my GPS, if I gotta go straight ahead. Yeah, there's things like.
You can't teach them.
But going from Ivy to 99, it's marked and we're aware of it, but not everybody's, they're thinking that next intersection, oh, that's where I gotta go down there.
Yeah, that's what I.
It's, well, thank you for being so courteous.
Yeah.
So I've got a question. So you know how, sometimes on the actual street signs, it say like Second Avenue, there could be another little like yellow sign or some other kind of sign above it. Sometimes it'll say historic district, sometimes it'll say, dead end or like no turnaround or something like that. Is there something that could be put on top of the Second Street one that says truck route?
No turn on
points,
99.
I don't know that that one would be legal, because there is very limited on what you can put over on top of the street signs. I know it's the historical district. And they did start putting the no outlets up there. But I don't think that there's,
I figured it's a long shot, but it crossed
Yeah.
my mind, so I thought I'd
Yeah.
ask just in case there might be
You
some.
would think safety would be a critical one that maybe.
I only have one more thing, so I was asked, the First Street crosswalk, one that's supposed to be moved with the flashes,
Mhm.
is that gonna kind of date on, is that just happening when they get the light working?
we're waiting, there was a lot of concerns over the fact that it was removed from Ivy. And we're trying to work with the, we're doing a pedestrian traffic study on Ivy to where we would need to put an enhanced crosswalk in, whether it's at Township or at Third. I'm kind of hoping that we can get enough now with the new building going in, and everything else, we can get enough traffic to warrant putting in the actual signalized intersection with push button crossings for pedestrians. So the engineers are re-looking at that, so that's why that one hasn't gotten moved yet.
If you turn it on, people will come.
I apologize, we have to go, there's about 7 calls going on right now, so.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Nice to meet you
Have a
guys.
good day. If you guys need anything, shoot me an email.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I wanna be on the scanner.
What's happening? It's a Wednesday, so I hope it's not near me.
Was that it?
For the most, yeah, for the most part, I still, you know, we're almost on first name basis with code enforcement for the parking. I think they're slowly figuring out how parking your car for 3 weeks in front of my house.
That's great. The intersection with the crosswalk, you said that's First and what?
For.
Oh,
For 13.
that makes more sense. I'm trying to think that where on First could that be.
It's kind of not a fun place to cross,
Yes.
especially with the sun. When people are driving.
Yep.
So that's it.
All right, Tom.
We had some discussion earlier in this meeting, and I had hoped that I would bring it up while Officer Bruce Davis was here. That is, I think it would be very helpful for us to know what the schedule of fines is. So that if we deem necessary, we could put an addendum, much like they have on Knightsbridge. Fine $25, fine $50, fine whatever. Underneath certain signs like truck route signs, where we have problems such as on Grant, just as a reminder to the motorist. But if we don't know what that fine schedule is, we don't know if it's of any value to put a small addendum onto a sign. So I would be willing, if the group is agreeable, to contact Chris and ask him if we could get that at a future meeting, or if you prefer to do it.
I'm just trying to think, I don't know if that is a part of the master fee schedule or where those, I know that they're all published, but I don't know where they are published. I don't know.
So like a Google search.
I don't know if a Google search would turn that up easily or not.
Let me try to find it. If I can't find it, let me get in touch with Officer Davis. Because I really do think, from a perspective of trying to understand options that are open to us, that could be something that's usable from time to time. Certainly not at every instance, but. So, I also had something I was prepared to discuss, and that is, times change, businesses change, et cetera. We have a situation that made sense previously, but to me, I think it causes a little bit of an issue right now. It's not serious. But on North Elm, just past Northwest First Avenue, we have 4 of these delineator posts sticking out in the street. Now, we happen to have raised non-traversable medians coming across the railroad tracks, both sides of them, that take you right up to Northwest First. Traffic has to make a severe jog to get around those posts.
Yeah, the camera
And it's
sticks like.
particularly, it's particularly difficult for a 53-foot trailer going to the industrial park, because he's coming off those concrete medians straight at those.
Is there any reason we need to keep those in?
Yeah, those were mainly for Candy rental, right?
It was, I would think that the only real reason for keeping them is if there was people that would try to start parking on street.
Can we
parking
just
there.
paint the,
There should be no parking sign. You got a fire plug there. You know, it just, to me, it seems like we could at this point. I understand when Kennedy Rentals was there. They had a lot more vehicles in the roadway and stored and so forth and so on.
Would taking just one of the four out make it easier on the trucks without having to completely take it
Well,
out?
even automobiles going through there, you can see how this guy's pointed.
Yeah.
He's forced to because he's coming straight at those as he crosses the intersection.
They are irritating.
It is, I really wish that we could have moved to align Elm Street from the south side of 99 all the way up to like Third Street, to where it was a little bit of a straighter, where the constraints were and everything else. I like those not being there because it makes it easier for our street sweeper. My biggest concern would be without knowing exactly what is going to go into this business, on if we would have to be putting something back.
okay, but with approving a business going in there, do we have to approve a business going in there where we have to have that?
Because part of the reason we worked around Canby Rental parking there was because they were an established business that had been there for many decades, and we didn't feel like we could change their behavior. We could mandate different behavior to somebody new.
If there was somebody new, but they still own the building and everything else, so I don't,
Gotcha.
I think until something else changes, my suggestion would be to leave them with
They don't
a plan.
They don't own the street, do they?
They do not own the street.
Okay. Whomever they're dealing with as they try to sell the building buys it without the owners. Now,
Yeah.
I think from a traffic safety standpoint, which is what we're trying to do, it's more important that we take care of traffic safety than have a concern over who the next tenant may or may not be. Rihanna deals with those people coming in.
Is there any speculation on who may be interested in going into that spot?
No, I don't think they made any decision.
I don't think they're gonna sell either,
Okay.
cause it's been passed down in the family.
So, what are our options for painting if we were to get rid of the candlesticks? How far down can we paint? Cause we can do a red stretch because of the fire hydrant. Can we do a yellow stretch beyond that?
Removing parking for the whole on-street parking for the, realistically would,
At least half of it, at
Just
least
like
to where
down
the
where the
pallets are.
fences, where the, it's a,
And as far as the tree is sufficient,
yeah,
it's just the,
well, it's gotta be past the tree.
Yeah, cause
That's,
big
so,
things come in.
so right
and out.
now, it was set up to where if there was somebody that was parked right here, the candlesticks would help delineate them over. So then it would be, okay, if we're removing parking on our street through here, it's,
well, almost to like where that trailer is with the,
they have parking on Northwest First. There's a parking lot across the street on the other side, on the south side of First. there's adequate parking for most businesses, and there is a huge parking lot in the business.
It's really only
Very good.
capitulating to the business and their big equipment for that space, because other people aren't.
Well, they had to get permission to put the candlesticks in the first place.
Yeah, we put.
We put it, then this group, made a motion and that was how we got those in the first place, was because it is an offset road. Trying to delineate traffic to get back over into the lane, the travel lane where they're supposed to be. If we remove them, then the travel lane gets widened out and, there's not a clear delineation of where you're supposed to be, so it could be driving all the way up to Second Street before, yeah. So, I mean, I think if we wanted to reshape where they were, so it wasn't quite as aggressive, I think that would be a good compromise kind of a thing, but my biggest thing is we do need to make sure that we are diverting traffic with that offset intersection to get back over into the travel lane.
So back to my original ask, could we make it 3 candlesticks instead of 4? It still pushes them over, but not quite as hard. Questions, comments, concerns? Does anybody have an opinion?
You know, all work fine before the quiet zone.
I don't disagree.
Well, what if we were to start there? What if we remove the one like you suggest? And then, I'd also take your suggestion to kind of wait to see who goes in there. That way we're both getting a little something.
See how,
So do we need somebody to make a motion to remove one?
I make a motion that we remove one of those candlesticks and look into this further in the future after we know who's gonna be in there.
I second that.
All in favor?
I,
Opposed?
yeah,
Opposed? You're opposed?
Yeah, because I think we need to wait and see who's going in there before we start
2 opposed.
taking the in and out.
But it passes, so we're good.
Sorry.
Anything else?
I'm neutral.
I'm not usually up.
Anything else, Tom?
No,
Okay. For me, my concerns are just, Ivy Street and unfortunately Officer Davis is gone. Just the amount of people running that red light
Oh my God.
is just unbelievable. And my other concern is the school zone. It just, people are just speeding through there. I just, it boggles my mind that they don't see that light blinking and slow down.
I
And
would email Officer Davis those concerns since he isn't here to hear it.
yeah, and on that crosswalk right there where they cross for the school. Is that lit, I mean, it's not just to light up when they are school, it's anybody that can push that and that lights up, is that correct?
Correct.
Because I see a lot of people crossing there not hitting that.
They're not pushing the button.
They're not pushing the button to light it up, and sometimes when people are walking, they're not making sure that their body language is showing that they're going to be crossing. That seems to be a problem in a lot of places. They're kind of like at an angle where you're like, are they crossing? Do I stop? Do I not stop?
they're on their phone.
And I don't know, I feel like, I know we're right at the time, going back to the, what Tom was saying about the fines. I feel like it would be, behoove us to maybe do a campaign on social media too, if we get those. And be like, are you aware, if you do this is
We can
a
take a
fine.
picture.
In keeping with that, if people know how much it's gonna cost them for speeding,
Mhm.
this is where technology would be a great benefit. Okay, 25-mile-per-hour sign, and the one on the bridge, it flashes, if you're doing 26, that thing catches you too. If you're doing 26, all the lights are flashing on that sign. Why not the next sign? You know, document, or the song that says document your speed, that's it. You are going 35 and 25. The next sign says, your fine will be $250. I'd love to see something like that.
But you said we
They- That would make somebody slow down real quick. I can get out of here. I mean, the technology's there.
Yeah.
And if you're not gonna put 25-mile-an-hour signs on all the posts on Hall and Ivy, well, whose feet are we stepping on now? That's what kills me. Everything has a roadblock.
Yeah.
Oh, Gary wants to put threats out there, it's gonna cost you this much money. Then you got
I'll do it.
Aurora that says, great job, awesome.
I like reinforcing good behavior. I don't mind threatening a little bit with a fine.
I do have a question, Tracy. We're going to bring to the council information regarding the trash pickup, having to be on the curbs or on the street instead of on the sidewalks.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna write that down. Wow.
Were they enforcing, they wanted the people to put the garbage cans on the street instead of the alley?
You want
They have
them,
to
you
put
want
them-
them off the sidewalk and onto the roads, right? Yeah,
You have to provide pedestrian
yeah,
usage of the sidewalks, and
okay.
that's why they're requesting
Not my
that
first
they
time
be on the
tripping
street.
over a garbage can.
And do we have confirmation that they will not go down side streets and alleyways to pick up? Somebody mentioned that, but I wasn't sure where that's coming from.
They were, there was a brief point in time where they were trying to not go down the alleyways to pick them up.
Yeah.
That they're back onto regular and gonna revisit how they're going to go about that.
Okay, yeah, because that's curious too, because for some of the development in Northwest, there's areas that are potentially being developed and they want to put frontage on those alleyways. And it's like they're really narrow, it's hard to turn on and off, there's not great visibility. Personally, not a fan. And yeah, if the garbage cans can't go down there, then, or the garbage trucks can't pick up people's cans, then that's just something we really should be aware of for other purposes.
All right, meeting adjourned.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Good job.